image, again, we have all these layers. I'll temporarily hide them and go to the top layer just to get a new one. And the certified is going to be on an elliptical shape. So I click the ellipse tool. I still have my guides layer that has the center. And I hold the Option and the Shift key. And it goes from the center out. Okay. Now I have a large white line. Change it to black so that you can see it. And minimize the size of it temporarily. Okay. I'm going to take the text tool. And up in the control panel, if you have that open, it's under control. Or I can also just have the character palette open, which is right here. Okay. And I'm just going to click in there and type in the word Helvetica. And I click on the word bold. And I can even click in the point size a little bit. Maybe put it at 16. And in the text tool, if I hold it down, you'll see it has type along the path. Okay. And I also want to do one other thing. I want to make this so that it's centered on the font there. So in the control panel, when I take a look at it, I can put that up at the top. I can also list this under Window, Type, and you can see that you have paragraph, and that's going to pop open as well. So the center location is right there. So when I click the mouse right on this line, see if it works for me here. All this Latin shows up, but that gives me the basis for this to start with. Just select certified, spell it out. And there it is, and it's centered. I take the direct selection tool. I'm going to change the color of my layer so you can see it a little better. So now you can see there's a center line, and there's the left and right margin line up at the top. So all you need to do is click with the direct selection tool and drag this over to the top. Put it right along the line there, and that'll give you the center piece. It's a little tricky. You got to, when you get to the top, you got to kind of stretch outside of the circle. Otherwise, it'll flip on you. So there's the certified. I'll do that one more time just to show you. If you just drag it across, it puts the text on the inside to the outside. So it gets a little tricky as far as which way it's headed. So grab the center line, and the lines bunch up sometimes together, so you got to be careful. It gets tricky right there. And if you don't get it the first time, hit Edit Undo and just drag it again, try it again as you go across. So there it is at the top. Now while it's at the top there, I can increase the point size right from here and just go all the way until it hits certified. And I can go ahead and click on the stroke, which is white. Here it is flipped back and forth. I just click it so you can see it, certified. And I can take the stroke off. So now I have the white type right on the top there. Okay? So hide all that. Keep my guides there. And then the next part is to try to create this banner. And I'm going to, again, start with a new layer. Take the rectangle tool this time. And I have the Option key, so I'm going to go to Option. I'm not going to hold Shift. I'm just going to drag it out to the width of it and make it a little bit larger. I might be off just a little bit. Okay. It's white right now. I'm just going to switch it so it has a white outline. I'm going to deselect it. Still have the same rectangle tool, Option, and do the same thing. Duplicate it. Option, stretch it out to this edge. And there it is. And now with the fill, so I just hit the X to get the fill bucket there. I'm just going to click on the green. I'm going to take off the stroke and then select the outside one that I had, which was white. I'll hit X and give it a color yellow so you can see it. And that's the banner that came across for the next part, which is coming across as organized. So I just hit group on this, drop this down a little bit so you can see the organic right there. And take the text tool this time, go to the normal size type there, and just type in organic. Okay. Now I don't know how large this is, so I can select this instead of making a new layer. Just going to go to Object and hide selection. And now I can just look at the word organic and Option and Shift key it and make it fit right there. Okay, and it has a little bit of a drop shadow, but we'll put that in a second. Just going to go Show All. Okay, and I can Shift key and use the Align panel if I'd like to make sure everything is centered. Okay, and that'll give me that part, and I can group it later. But right now I just want to see if I can't change this with a drop shadow. So there's the white. Go to Effect, Stylize, Drop Shadow. And you can also do this in the Appearance panel, so I'm just trying to show you two ways to do it. Here it is, it's at 75%. It has a blur, so I'm going to put this blur a little bit less, to 0, and subtract. These are in points, so I just want to see what it looks like. First of all, there it is, so I can keep it at 2 and take the blur and just blur it just a little bit, one piece right there, and click OK. Okay, so there's that part. And I can group that together and send that around if I'd like. And then the last part is just a little banner part on the end. I'm just going to put that behind everything so you won't really be able to see it. So again, I'll just give myself a new layer onto this one. Hide that guy. And just take a look at it. A lot of ways that you can do this. You can use the pen tool, the shape tool, combination tools. I'm going to try it off with a rectangle shape. Put that to the default, take the fill off, and maybe I'll take the pen tool, and I'm just going to click in the middle. There's the center of it. Come down here, and that gives me the Smart Guide. So there's the shape, because I want to give the edge of it right at the top there, so that'll make it a little bit easier to illustrate. So I select the top of it. Both of them are selected, one on top of the other. Use the Shape Builder tool, and just Option and click, and now I have that piece with the fill of the green. Okay, so you can see that part. And then this has a white edge at the top and the bottom. So to keep that nice and crisp, I'm just going to create it right there and extend it down right into the top there, so I can make that white. Take that off and just Option and duplicate it down. Click on this to take the stroke off there. So now I have this shape. Group it together and just put the Reflect tool and click right in the mid guideline with the Option key held down. Copy it. And there I have it right there. So here's all the layers. This particular layer has to be at the bottom, so I'm going to drag it to the bottom there. And now it's behind everybody. And here's the background to it. Here's the guide layer. And you can see when you take a look at this particular graphic, there's a little bit of a tone here and a little bit of a line that you can place on there as well. But I'm going to leave just the tone in there, just the gradient. Okay, so that's showing these parts that have this gradient. So I can select this part only, put it in what they call the isolation mode, go to my swatches, click on gradients, get some neutral colors, take a look at the pastels, seasons. So I might take that one, take that gradient. So here's the gradient, and you have your gradient editor that you can pull up just right here. Okay, swatch that color on there for it. Grab the screen up here, so I have two of the greens from there. Let's see if that's the one, so I'll save that one. That's right here. it is right there with the stroke. So isolation mode, just back out of it. Here's this part. Here's my guides layer. Just delete this, select this. Get the reflect tool option in the center. Copy it over. Hide all that, bring all that. Tab key. View, guides, hide those guides.